Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and the friends from the media. Well, welcome you all to this press conference. As you can see, many of the friends from the media, have you ever heard of Heartbeat before? And yes? No, have you seen Senses? Let me ask you first. Have you seen Senses here at Toronto Centre for the Arts? Yes. How do you like it?
Very good.
Very good? Okay. Well, first of all, may I introduce to you Dr. Dennis Law, Director and Executive Producer of Heartbeat. Ms. Mun-Li Law, Producer of Heartbeat. And Kelly Gillis, the representative of Canadian Cancer Society, the recipient of the proceeds of Heartbeat and this event.
And maybe we can informally tell some of you the purpose of this particular show. Those of you that are aware, maybe you would know that last year our company and ourselves presented the show Terracotta Warriors at the Elgin Theatre downtown for a 3-week run, which was really, for Toronto, an unprecedented length for running a Chinese language, Chinese Bay live show. That was pretty courageous of us, but the response from the Toronto audience of all walks of life was tremendously gratifying, and each week got stronger than the week before. So to parallel what we're trying to do in Vancouver, where I own the corresponding ex-Ford Centre, now known as the Centre in Vancouver for Performing Arts, we started this year the first annual Chinese Performing Arts Festival with the aim of bringing some really international caliber Chinese performing arts to Canada every summer. And so this year we brought 2 shows. The first was Senses, the second is Heartbeat, and we're paralleling that in the Toronto marketplace by doing Senses here all month of July, and then in September, the all month of September, doing Heartbeat. That really combines for a lot of Chinese performing arts performances in the Toronto marketplace. Most Chinese performing arts come to Canadian cities and run 1 or 2 shows and occasionally 3 shows. But by doing that many, it almost staggers the mind of the usual audience profile. But I think I'm an American, for those of you that know, and I'm feeling the pulse of Canadian multicultural society, and I'm hopeful that over time shows are not going to be divided along ethnic lines as seriously, so that there can be promoted here and in the future a greater sense of crossover, a little less sense of xenophobia, meaning it's somebody else's culture and I therefore will not understand it and therefore avoid it. So we're hopeful to use our technique of putting these foreign shows here and doing longer runs, take the huge risk of doing longer runs so that through word of mouth, through media interest, we can gradually promote a sense of progressive xenophilia in the new Canadian multicultural society that it is. Now, Senses was a very unusual show because it was meant to be lyrical, meant to be romantic, and was not meant to be action-packed. Although we featured some singing stars that really have never sang that way before in Canada's Chinese community. Well, the converse is true for Heartbeat. This is not very romantic, not very poetic, but it's one jam-packed, truly rock your heart action musical that uses percussion music as its base to go through a dance drama for 2 hours. That's pretty intense. That doesn't mean that the drums and the percussion will go for 2 hours, just breaking your eardrums. But we use almost I think including those on stage plus in the orchestra pit, well over 200 drumming instruments plus other percussion instruments to provide the soundscape for the show. The live music is by 6 percussionists dealing with 40-some drums in the orchestra pit that it's exposed to the audience. and then 3 Chinese solo instruments to weave a fabric of melody occasionally on top of the percussion. The performers are nearly 70 during the show, so it exceeds a lot of Broadway on tour shows by at least 100%, doubling the size of a touring Broadway cast, because each cast member showcases the kind of virtuoso movement that only they can do. So it's not so easy for us to cross over and say, hey, let's let these people double up and do it. Besides, it's pretty tough to have 20-some, 30 people double up and all the action from beginning to end. Besides, this is a story told through 7 periods, 6 dynasties and 1 futuristic period. So it provides the opportunity or the hassle of changing costumes so many times. At least the performers need to take a break from the preceding scene and get into a new set of clothing. So for those of you that have seen Terracotta Warriors, have heard of it, the costuming was deemed to be lavish. Well, this one exceeds that by a significant percentage, because we're going through 7 dynasties or 7 periods instead of 1. So our costume requirement and headdress requirement is rather hectic. So we're featuring 500 costumes and so many hair and wig changes that my hair and wig people are just going dizzy. So the point of Heartbeat is to do again a long run, longer than the Terracotta one at the Elgin. Elgin is a smaller theater, this is a larger theater. And this time this is 31 shows from September the 7th through October the 2nd. In Vancouver, we just finished 32 performances. The response from the audience was extremely gratifying. We have 30 out of 32 performances with huge standing ovations. The remarks from the audience, for me as a producer and director, is extremely gratifying. And our non-Chinese audience in the Vancouver market is nearing 50%, which is breaking our record for any of the Chinese shows that we've done. We were late getting in there because of a horrible set of strikes in Vancouver, which seems to now to be a yearly happening. Last year we were delayed because of a tugboat strike so that my sets couldn't get on stage. This year it's a truckers' strike dealing with containers, and we actually delayed opening by almost a month with my cast sitting there in the hotel eating and consuming for a month before we can start it. And then everybody thought we had to cancel the performance, and the miracle happened, and some organization braved threats of injury and death and damage in the middle of the night at 2 a.m. in the morning, moved my sets in. I had to hire bodyguards. I mean, this is almost vigilantism at its best, at its worst, trying to get your own goods. But we're able to open, and we were doing better each week. And it's because of audience response that after the Toronto run, we go back in October in Vancouver and add 17 more performances, and we'll also go to Calgary for 2 shows at the newly renovated Southern Jubilee Theatre, which is almost 3,000 seats large. We're also going to take this show to Reno, I think, for a special celebration in November. So we're very gratified with the audience response. We hope the Toronto audience will gradually be attracted to this multidisciplinary, very action-packed, fast-moving show. And we hope to be able to get the kind of response that would make it worthy for us to keep doing these festivals year after year, because I hope it would grow and find its own pace.
咁我都知道啊，李在鳳女士咁佢都為咗呢一個 Heartbeat 咧，都有做咗好多嘅工作喎。可唔可以請你講一講咧？各位大家好。咁哇，我講嘢有好大回音。咁就咧熱鼓熱舞啦，我哋就籌備咗差唔多成年嘅時間啦。咁就我哋喺北京嗰度咧就開始彩排，咁差唔多花咗2個月嘅時間啦。咁由籌備到而家演出，咁上一站咧就係溫哥華啦。咁而家我哋所有
全部啲演員都帶住好興奮嘅心情，咁啊過幾日咧，佢哋就會全部會到達多倫多，跟住咧就會開始我哋嘅 show 噶啦。咁啊，今次咧我哋會喺多倫多咧就做1個月啦。咁其實我哋呢個熱鼓業務咧就係以中國嘅鼓為題材為一個中心啦，亦都希望話藉住呢個戲帶俾大家可以認識到我哋中國嘅鼓樂嘅豐富嘅演奏方法，同埋咧我哋將好多嗰啲我哋中國舞台嘅演藝啊，譬如舞蹈武術咧，就以一個新嘅包裝嘅手法，新嘅表演嘅形式，令到觀眾睇完之後咧覺得好震撼，亦都有好多娛樂性帶俾大家嘅。咁呢一出戲咧，亦都可以盡表現我哋嘅演員嘅同心合力嘅精神啦。因為一個熱鼓業務係一個現場嘅演奏，現場咁樣一齊配合嘅一個形式嘅演出，咁好講求大家嘅合作性嘅。咁就呢個亦都係一個新嘅嘗試啦。咁現場嘅打鼓同埋我哋有中樂手，加上舞蹈演員、武術演員，咁就每一場咧都會有大家一齊表演嘅時候咧，多多少少都要好講求嗰個合拍性嘅。呢一出戲係實在係非常有挑戰性，我希望每個觀眾咧都係睇完之後咧會感受到我哋中國文化嘅豐富。咁仲有就係希望我哋喺多倫多亦都可以受到廣大嘅觀眾嘅歡迎啦。咁喺溫哥華咧，亦都係每一次演出散場嘅時候，結束嘅時候咧，好多觀眾都不禁要企起身嚟拍手掌。咁亦都係帶俾我哋演員好大嘅鼓舞。咁希望好快呢幾日咧就可以快啲同大家見面啦。Thank you.
Let me first introduce to you something about our Heartbeat. Heartbeat will take you through 7 glorious dynasties of Chinese history, and you will experience the Chinese culture through the dream of the young protagonist Jade. And Heartbeat is not only an amazing rhythmic journey, but also a very meaningful event. By purchasing Fantasia Dinner and Show combo at Master online, I have a sample here. And by purchasing this, with the charitable donation of $5, the viewers of Heartbeat will enjoy the Fantasia Asian food at one of the finest Asian restaurants in town. And so you could taste Chinese, Korean, Japanese, Vietnamese or Thai food when you're experiencing the Asian culture, and you could log on to www.fantasiadinnerandshow.com to view some of the details. And please also notice that the Fantasia Dinner Show voucher can only be delivered through regular mail, will call, and express post. Please also remember the coupon can be redeemed for a $25 to $30 dinner from a set dinner, the set menu, and all the proceeds goes to Canadian Cancer Society. And today we are very pleased to have Ms. Callie Gillis, the representative of Canadian Cancer Society, with us, the recipient of the proceeds of Heartbeat. Callie, would you like to say a few words?
Thank you very much. I just wanted to say that I'm pleased to represent the Scarborough unit at this press conference. We are excited to further our relationship with the Chinese community and being the recipient of the proceeds from this event. The Chinese community has been an active partner with the Society for over 8 years, both in raising money for cancer research and focusing delivery of programs. I'm thrilled that this program will not only raise funds for the Society, but will offer a lot of exposure to the Chinese culture. So I just wanted to say thank you very much. We're excited to be part of this endeavor, and think it's really creative that you can purchase for $5, get meal vouchers for $30. That's great. So thank you very much.
last career, I don't know how many countless cancers have passed through my hands as a surgeon, so I'm particularly pleased that we have a working relationship. So thank you, Kelly, very much. One of the things that might interest those of you that are here as third parties, when we conceived of the show Heartbeat, it really was an interesting idea to use percussion music as a base. I mean, occasional audiences say, gee, why aren't there any songs in this show? It's very tough to sing songs to mostly percussion music. But I think percussion music, by and large, is very multicultural in its nature, whether it is African society, South American, European, Eastern European, North American, Indians, tribal, otherwise, in Asia. Every nationality and culture in the histories past and present will involve their music to percussion music to some degree. I found out more recently, over the last 2 or 3 years myself, in familiarizing myself with Chinese culture, that the history of Chinese percussion instrument is indeed richer than I could ever have imagined. But because of the turmoil in Chinese history of the 20th century, China has made a pathetic contribution towards the development of percussion music in the West, knowing the revolutions and the wars and whatever the government has been evolving over the last century. So it gives us great pride and pleasure, really, to utilize Chinese percussion music in a way never before achieved, by having a composer that's an expert in percussion weave an orchestral score that is original, using a countless variety of percussion sounds as a sole orchestral background for a very visual dance show. And I think, I hope people will be pleasantly surprised, as I was, when you develop a show like this from scratch, from the drawing board. Even I don't know what it's going to look like until it's actually put together on the stage of Vancouver, my own theater. People don't realize that. They think here in the West they workshop, and they preview 1,000 times before they actually go on Broadway for a premiere. But when you're doing these multicultural things coming from abroad, with costumes being made in one place and sets made in another, and choreography in another place, and you're teching on your own stage for the first time, it isn't until you put it together at dress rehearsal because you say, oh my God, this is finally all elements put together. And I think it even shocked me to have all these elements work, I think, as well as it did. So we're looking forward to share this new experience, at least for the audience here. Everywhere would think this is new. I can't guarantee that if it's new, everybody would like it. Some people think it's too noisy, but I can guarantee you it is not half as noisy as a nightclub featuring rock and roll music in an enclosed small room. So it certainly is a lot of intensity, but it is not irritatingly noisy. We actually left the first row not for sale in Vancouver for the fear that it may be too intense for the audience, but towards the end, everybody was fighting for the first row and got mad that we didn't sell the first row. So I think I can tell Ticketmaster here, don't be too shy about selling the first few rows, because to be able to see the musicians clearly when all this action is going on stage, I think is a real treat.
So now we would like to show you a video of Heartbeat, and I'm sure it will truly rock your heart. Please enjoy. So, how do you like the show? A big round of applause for Dr. Law and Mrs. Law.
No, we just shot it in using 5 cameras, Sony F900s, the camera used in George Lucas's Star Wars. We used 5 Sony F900s to shoot the show, and the high definition footage is remarkable. But while my own department is editing, before I left, I grabbed them to pull together 4 minutes or so I can bring it and show it to my marketing folks and our guests here today quickly. So this is just a 4-minute excerpt of a 2-hour show. So it comes off with a lot of changes, the lighting, design and changes are absolutely fabulous. So I hope all of you in Toronto will like it and enough people will come and support it. So thank you very much. Thank you, Kelly, for your support.
Well, I do have one question for Dr. Law, because I know some of the friends from Vancouver, they are referring Heartbeat is Stump plus Crouching Tiger and Hidden Dragon. What do you think?
No, it's just the Vancouver Province newspaper. The reviewer called it Stump plus Crouching Tiger plus Cirque du Soleil, so I think he's probably overdoing it, but I think it does come across as a lavish variety show with fabulous costumes and a lot of very interesting movement.
And this is the second production for this year's International Chinese Performing Arts Festival. And what's your plan for next year's festival?
No, we are planning to bring 2 other shows, and I'm not sure I've absolutely decided which 2. I don't want to necessarily say it and disappoint everybody. So I'm thinking about putting on a new show about the Tang dynasties, and the works composers are already working on the score. So with enough audience support, we'll bring it here longer. I think we'll always bring something here. The question is, how long do we bring it? How long does it sit down in Toronto as opposed to go into different places? Terry, representing Toronto Centre, would like us to be here even for 2 months, I'm sure. But permanent sit-down show here. No, I'm kidding. But we'll see. But I'm certain bringing back 2 shows next year.
熱鼓熱舞咧就以一個中國鼓為題材啦。咁呢一出戲咧可以話我哋係第一家公司以鼓嘅題材作為一個大型嘅演出。咁我哋希望觀眾咧喺個劇裏面可以睇到嘅就係話原來中國嘅鼓打擊樂各種嘅敲擊嘅方法原來咁精彩嘅，可以每一段戲有好震撼嘅或者好溫柔嘅或者好詩意嘅各種形形色色嘅鼓嘅出嚟嘅效果咧，原來咁豐富嘅。咁亦都係考慮到我哋個成個舞台嘅製作個娛樂性啦，所以我哋唔單止係以鼓為一個大題材，我哋會加咗好多嘅舞蹈演員啊，功夫嘅演員啊，咁就喺個舞台上咧以一個不同嘅表演嘅方法嚟襯托成個鼓樂嘅演出咯。咁觀眾咧可以喺我哋個劇裏面咧就睇到 我哋有唔同嘅朝代嘅即係我哋中國有幾個大朝代嘅特色咧，就擺喺舞台上面嘅，所以可以亦都睇到我哋嘅演員嘅服裝方面啊幾咁華麗啦，同埋佢哋化妝啊、頭飾啊各方面配合咧，就可以話相當之精彩豐富嘅。亦都觀眾睇完咧會好開心、好激動。咁好開心就係我哋呢一出戲咧，演出以嚟咧就好多觀眾都好中意啦。每一次我哋成個戲完咗之後，嗰啲觀眾係即係不禁都要企起身同我哋嘅演員大力嘅鼓掌加油咁樣，因為呢一出戲咧可以講話挑戰性好大嘅。點解咧？因為我哋嘅演出咧就係現場嘅鼓手演奏，現場嘅中樂手演奏，咁全部都係現場嘅，咁冇得 NG 嘅，邊個錯咗咧就好大陣仗啦。咁我哋演員咧亦都係聽現場嘅音樂嚟跳。咁當然啦，我哋演出嘅時候打擊樂啊各方面都係人噶嘛，咁亦都會每日咧都有少少唔同變化，所以咧好講求嘅大家嘅合拍性。如果唔係咧，成個 show 就好容易就亂噶啦。咁所以咧話好大挑戰性就喺呢一度咯，呢個亦都係難度之一。咁 anyway 我哋呢出戲咧就我哋演員啦、鼓手佢哋都好合拍，喺演出嘅時間盡量將好多問題解決咯。咁可以睇得出大家都真係用心用力嘅為我哋呢一出戲咧就表現佢哋最好嘅一面嘅。咁亦都可以藉住鼓呢個題材，鼓嘅我哋嘅中國文化嚟表現我哋中國嘅民族嘅團結一心嘅一種精神。我亦都希望大家睇完我哋呢出戲咧，都感受到呢一種大家嘅情意啦。其實我哋呢一出戲啊，我哋兩方面都顧及嘅。咁我哋有心就將我哋中國嘅文化推廣去海外，咁亦都係海外嘅觀眾嘅口味同中國內陸嘅人嘅口味唔同嘅，或者佢哋可能會保守啲，或者比較傳統性啲。但係如果要拎到去海外嘅話，我哋要顧及到尤其是白人即係西人嗰啲口味啦，佢哋嘅眼光。所以咧，我哋不得要將個劇裡面咧係會用一種比較新鮮嘅手法去包裝咯。咁呢個包裝係好緊要嘅。咁加上我先生咧，同我都成日喺國外睇好多唔同嘅 show， 亦都吸收咗好多外國嘅做演出嘅佢哋嘅優點。咁我哋覺得既然觀眾要買一張飛嚟嘥幾個鐘頭嚟睇我哋嘅戲，一定要成個戲嘅製作係一定要令到觀眾覺得哇超值喎，好有享受感覺，同埋咧最緊要就係有娛樂性。咁呢啲元素咧，亦都係觀眾容易接受咗，佢先可以慢慢接受你嘅中國嘅文化。如果一開始一帶嗰啲戲又悶啊，又沉氣啊，或者太高藝術嘅，觀眾根本都冇咁嘅興趣睇落去嘅咧，咁你話要搞個咩文化嘅交流係絕對係失敗嘅。所以咧，我哋而家製作嘅方針就係話，成個戲雖然係中國嘅色彩為基礎，但係咧要令到觀眾睇完我哋啲戲就覺得話又好睇又有娛樂性，而且佢哋會好驚訝話哇，中國嘅文化係咁精彩咁豐富以後都要認識多啲啦，咁佢先至可以有個推動力咯。呢一出戲咧點講咧？我哋啲觀眾咧可以話一半係西人，一半係中國人喎。咁可能呢個題材咧就估比較大眾會尤其外國人啦，佢唔懂呢個中國文化，但係聽見估呢樣嘢咧，就其實而家世界各地唔同國家、唔同民族都有佢自己嘅特色嘅估嘅文化。咁我覺得鼓樂咧係一個比較容易普通人都容易接受嘅一個音樂咯，所以咧就今次我哋嗰啲觀眾咧就係外國人同埋中國人都有一半啦。咁同埋咧，你想唔到係話外國人睇完呢一出戲咧，好多都俾我哋好高嘅評價。即係呢樣嘢亦都係我哋覺 覺得安慰嘅事啦，因為好多時西方嘅人講真啦，能夠可以明白我哋中國嘅文化嘅人呢，實在係唔多㗎。咁令到一出戲，令到佢哋會覺得哇，即係好羨慕我哋中國人，或者好讚揚我哋中國人呢。呢一樣嘢呢，我哋如果可以做到咁嘅效果，當然係好開心啦。咁有一個小故事啦，咁喺度講一講。咁我先生呢，有一日就喺溫哥華路上見，即係行街啦，就見到有一個鬼佬呢，就叫住一個中國嘅後生仔。嗰個後生仔係嗰啲，我諗係嗰啲喺溫哥華係本地長大嘅中國人。咁瘦瘦地咁樣喺路邊咧派嗰啲免費報紙啊！咁嗰個外國人就話：誒，你係咪熱古熱舞嘅演員啊？咁我嗰個派報紙嗰個人咧問到，即係都唔知佢講乜嘢，因為佢又唔知熱古熱舞啦。咁嗰個後嚟外國人咧就唔好意思，唔好意思，我以為你係嗰啲演員，因為我睇咗嗰個熱古熱舞嘅演出，我見你係中國人，又好似嗰啲裡面啲演員嗰啲身形啊，我諗可能你哋係嗰啲演員嚟幫手做宣傳咁樣。哎呀，我真係好中意嗰出戲啊，點樣啊，咁講一大堆啦。咁佢係一個即係完全唔識一個人，可以講咁多嘢，然後係好開心去講佢對嗰個熱古熱舞嘅感覺。嗰時我先生啱啱經過嗰個路，睇到咁嘅情況，佢好感動，亦覺得真係好安慰咯。然後呢嗰晚呢，我哋演出完之後，唔係都要成日要開會嘛，同演員都講出呢個故事，大家都好興奮啊！佢話估唔到我哋嘅影響力有咁大。咁我先生就話：如果我哋次做嗰啲戲，可以成日可以影響好多外國人對我哋嘅中國嘅文化咁嚮往嘅話，甚至好熱愛你哋呢班演員呢，你哋成功啦咁樣啦。即係呢個故事真係亦都可以作為我哋一個好好鼓勵嘅事咯。呢出戲就籌備咗成年㗎啦。咁上次我哋製作完兵馬俑演出完之後呢，我哋就跟住就即刻就製作呢一個熱古熱舞啦。咁當然啦，製作期間呢，好多濕濕碎碎嘅事啦。咁我身為製作人呢，就要由頭管到尾啦。由一個劇本寫出嚟啦，跟住就要設計，揾邊啲人去設計啊，佈景啊。跟住就要招考演員啊，各方面咯。咁今次我哋嘅演出呢，就為咗我哋將來呢都有一定嘅演出量，所以呢，我哋自己都組咗一個叫做羅氏國際演藝公司。咁我哋自己養一班演員，喺中國呢就各地招考啲精英啦。咁喺我哋嘅戲呢，就作為一個主要嘅演員嚟擔任啦。咁我都希望話，因為中國人才都的確係好多嘅，咁有一個提供佢哋嘅發展嘅機會，我哋亦都可以藉住我哋嘅創作，令我哋演員可以有機會去發揮佢哋嘅所長。咁我覺得呢樣嘢係亦都係非常有意義嘅。咁加上而家啲演員呢，就喺我哋公司工作呢，佢哋都覺得好有成就感啦，因為佢哋覺得可以做一出戲，唔係話好似國內咁樣啦，咁辛苦排1-2個月嘅舞劇，咁喺國內淨係做2-3場，咁做完啦，冇得再做啦。咁跟住下一出又唔知幾時啦。咁但係喺我哋呢個團呢，佢哋就會覺得好有希望啦，而且佢見嘅觀眾唔係話淨係華人，係全世界嘅各地嘅觀眾，所以呢，佢哋更加會有一種使命感，希望佢哋嘅身手，佢哋嘅表演可以感動每一個觀眾。其實呢，就以我嘅觀察啊，我哋中國人呢，就熱心去參加好似去買飛去劇院睇戲嘅呢種習慣呢，可以話我哋嘅即係華人呢，呢一方面比較弱啲啦，就唔似西方人，佢哋當為去劇院睇戲係一種享受，好重視嘅。淨係你睇嗰啲人入場，佢着到靚一靚嘅，化晒靚妝啊，咁佢係當一個係好高尚、好享受嘅一個節目之一嘅。但係我哋華人呢，就可能喺食方面，哇，使幾多錢食幾大魚大肉，好開心。但係你話叫佢使啲錢去買飛呢，可能哇要諗過計過算過先。咁呢個係可能係一個 我哋咁耐嘅歷史嘅文化，咁喺嗰個我哋中國人或者華人呢，喺嗰個精神享受方面呢，追求冇西方人士咁熱烈啦。咁唔代表我哋中國人冇文化嘅，咁我覺得都係需要慢慢去培養去推動。咁我希望話每個觀眾入咗劇院睇完演出，覺得好滿意好開心之餘呢，令到佢哋有咁嘅推動力或者心情下一次又有新嘅演出嘅好嘅製作嘅，佢哋都願意去主動去買飛去睇呢。咁就最好啦。咁呢啲都係用文化嘅修養，都係要慢慢培養起嚟嘅。咁當然我哋做呢啲製作，我哋希望可以得到好多觀眾嘅支持，我哋先至有勇氣或者有咁嘅力量再繼續不斷去製作啲新戲。但係如果一直都得唔到觀眾嘅支持嘅話，講真，有時我哋就可以話有心無力㗎。冇人支持嘅嘢，我哋再繼續做落去，如果冇人欣賞嘅，咁好似就白費心機咯。咁所以呢，我哋每一次咁有誠意、咁用心去製作嘅戲，我都希望各位觀眾中意嘅話，都可以真係大力支持咯。
呢個係我哋公司第4個 production。
咁今次同以前嗰啲 production 有咩唔同咧？
因為我哋以前嗰啲歌舞動作音樂劇呢，我叫做係用普通啲中西有啲貢獻嘅音樂混合一起。但係今次呢，我覺得用個新啲嘅手法呢，用敲擊樂為一個基礎呢，嚟做一場動作音樂劇。因為我發現呢，我呢幾年喺中國，即係中國喺敲擊樂呢個方面呢，好豐富，歷史嚟講好豐富，有唔同民族式嘅鼓啊，嗰啲查查啊、鑼啊咩都唔同。但係呢，中國20世紀因為經過咁多辛苦嘅地方呢，世界上有革命啊，有世界大戰啊，後尾有好多壓力啊，文化大革命啊，真係對世界上嘅敲擊樂嘅貢獻呢，確實係好有限制。所以但係其實佢嗰啲樂器啊、音色啊好豐富，所以我第一次呢，就想利用個機會呢，嚟利用呢啲咁嘅豐富嘅敲擊樂嚟做一場好有節奏感、好有動感嘅動作音樂劇。淨係製作費都100幾萬加幣到啦，唔係當生意投資嘅，呢係當對推動中國文化精神嚟做呢啲事。咁你講係做生意就冇得做。今年睇下觀眾對我今年呢，中華演藝節有2個唔同嘅作品嘛，一個係魅，係推薦中國女性嘅魅力，呢台戲呢係好有詩意感、好有 romantic 感嘅戲。但係我唔可以出戲都係有咁嘅材料噶嘛，所以呢次呢係有一個對比嘅。中華演藝節今年第一台就好 romantic， 好有詩意。好有好聽啲歌嘅感覺。第2台戲呢，呢次呢，如果冇一首歌都冇嘅，所以係節奏感、動感、有陣容嘅演出，舞台演出。因為魅嗰啲咁戲呢，需要有啲 headliner 嘅演員。呢出戲呢，呢出戲咩個古仔內容係冇嘅。呢出戲係一個小孩子嘅11歲嘅女仔一個夢幻嘅一個過程。所以基本出戲我哋有好多領舞，有好多主演舞蹈嘅演員，但冇一個故事嘅人物嘅介紹。所以你話邊個係主角呢？我晚晚出6、7個主角，晚晚又唔同，嗰六七個有啲調換嘅。所以你話唔可以話掛住觀眾嘅精神喺一個演員嘅身上。今次其實主演嗰啲領舞嗰啲分4、5組添啊。
就總數就70人。
總數70個人。我哋呢啲現場嘅舞台劇跟全世界啲冇乜分別嘅。你舞台劇你用眼嚟睇嘅，唔係用 video camera 錄影嘅鏡頭嚟睇嘅，你梗係睇唔到最細微嘅表情，除非你坐喺前嗰幾排啊嘛。全望遠鏡前嗰排，呢個就唔係我哋啲作品嘅特色嚟，係全世界現場睇到咁噶啦。所以尤其是你觀眾買啲平啲嘅飛坐到3樓，絕對嗰個接觸感係遠得多，係咪啊？坐第一排頭幾排，梗係就有好大着數。如果想睇表情啊，有啲觀眾話：做戲唔係電影，我唔想睇表情嘅。 我再遠啲睇陣容，咁又可以係觀眾個人嘅挑選。但係你唔可以話買一個位睇一個飛啦，咩着數都有晒喺你度，冇咁樣嘅着數嘅，係咯。我哋用西人即係用國際市場嘅手法嚟推動中華民族精神嘅演出呢，我認為係我哋係第一家。因為我哋唔止，我哋點解係第一家呢？當然有啲國際啲公司喺中國係想籌備啲嘢，但係我哋第一家，因為我哋熟悉北美嘅市場，我哋自己有北美嘅大劇院，同埋我哋用我哋嘅眼光娛樂嘅眼光嚟咁做呢，我應該係第一家。我哋仲有北京又有辦公室，係嘛？香港又有 headquarter， 喺美國又有 headquarter， 咁變咗幾個國家有關係嘅嚟製咗啲咁樣嘅中國民族精神嘅國際性嘅演出，我哋當然係第一家。我覺得如果觀眾對中國對豐富有娛樂性嘅演藝有興趣嘅呢，唔睇呢啲咁嘅戲呢，我覺得真係嘥咗。雖然唔係話淨係我自己嘅作品，因為我成日睇戲，咩民族嘅戲我都睇。我覺得如果你真係呢出戲睇咗，你都覺得唔好睇嘅啦，你就咩戲都唔好睇啦，你都唔係睇戲嘅人。好似譬如我太太李卓峰，大家都識嘅，佢又唔中意睇嗰啲美國橄欖球嗰啲賽啊、籃球啊嗰啲，佢唔慣睇，唔中意睇嗰啲咁嘅嗰啲專業體育運動嗰啲咁樣嘅。你使幾多錢賣廣告，佢都唔會睇，佢唔中意睇。咁如果我覺得中國人嚟講又好，西人又好，如果你對舞台演出有興趣嘅呢台戲呢，應該係非睇不可，因為呢有啲新嘅元素你第度冇辦法睇嘅。但係你係西人，你覺得你係偏西方一啲嘅文化啦，你將我出戲同Phantom of the Opera 嚟比較呢，又係冇得講。我哋目的唔係做一個同你做 Phantom of the Opera 嚟對比嘅，呢個係一個中國民族好特色、好有動作感、好有舞蹈感、好有節奏感嘅演出。而家暫時我揾唔到西方有邊台戲呢，同我哋有啲接近嘅嚟比較。但係如果你求新鮮感、求豐富、求華麗呢，呢台戲真係好難有揾到第二出嚟同佢哋做比較。
好，祝你演出成功。
多謝。